What is reason? In the context of this argument, reason refers to the fact that we have rational faculties. We can acquire truth, we desire to discover, and we can infer, induce and deduce. A significant aspect of our rational faculties is the ability to come to a logically valid conclusion. When we reason logically, our conclusions will be based on our rational insight. We see that the conclusion follows. This seeing cannot be established empirically. In other words, we have a mental insight that the conclusion follows logically, it is logically connected to its previous premises. Deductive arguments are a good example to explain our rational insights. Deductive arguments are where the premises guarantee the truth of the conclusion. The deductive argument is valid if its conclusion follows necessarily from its premises. It is sound if it is valid and its premises are true or rationally acceptable. Consider the following deductive argument. 1. All bachelors are unmarried men. 2. John is a bachelor. 3. Therefore, John is an unmarried man. We know that 3 necessarily follows from 1 and 2 based on our insight. We are also justified in believing in the truth of premises 1 and 2. Nothing in the physical world can prove why 3 is connected to the previous premises, in other words, why it logically follows. You may never have met John before and you may never have had contact with a bachelor. However, your rational faculties perceive that the conclusion follows necessarily from these premises, regardless of any of your physical experiences. Reason clearly has a transcendent dimension. To drive this point home, consider the following deductive argument. 1. John has observed 5 modifies. 2. The 5 modifies John has observed are yellow. 3. Therefore, some modifies at least must be yellow. This is a valid argument. The conclusion necessarily follows from the premises. John has observed 5 yellow modifies, so it necessarily follows that at least some modifies must be yellow. Whether they are all yellow or not, if there are more than 5 modifies in existence, is not deducible from these premises. Either is possible. Given premises 1 and 2, 3 must follow. However, why do we agree that the conclusion 3 necessarily follows from these premises? Why do we believe in the logical validity of the conclusion, although we have no idea what a modifu is? By the way, I have made the word up. It is because the logical flow of the argument occurs in our minds regardless of any personal inferences we might ever have formed from our own experiences. We have achieved an insight into conclusion 3 without any external, material data. We have achieved an insight into something that is not based on our experience. We do not know what a modifu is. In actual fact, if the word yellow was replaced with zello, another made-up word, the conclusion would still necessarily follow. Some modifies at least 5 must be zello. Not only have our minds come to a conclusion that is not based on any external evidence, our minds have also directed and driven our insight to conclude that 3 must follow from 1 and 2. Our minds have taken premises 1 and 2 and driven or directed our insight to conclude 3. However, being driven or directed to a mental destination or endpoint is not a characteristic of a physical process. Physical processes are blind, random and have no intentional force directing them anywhere. This means that we cannot use physical processes to account for our ability to achieve an insight into a conclusion. Reason, an assumption of science.